Hello everybody, my name is CRG. I'm a guy that plays games while being lame. I also talk about controversies, and last time I talked about a Friday Night Funkin' controversy, so it was in my realm of expertise. But I also consume other types of media as well. So it came to a surprise when I looked at something of ayylmao, and for some reason, it's kind of the same story with the stuff that I covered before. Let me recap ayylmao's video that caused this whole entire situation unbiasedly. Ayylmao made a short, right? He talked about people constantly talking to Michael Kovac about shipping and all that. There was one instance in which he clipped it. They're trying to claim that he clipped it out of context. That's not true. We're going to get into that as well. And that led to the supposed harassment of another person. I don't know. I wasn't there. Let's say that it is. They're now trying to blame ayylmao's video for that, and not just the random people doing that, which is not correct. That is you trying to shift the blame onto another person as a scapegoat. So that is what I'm going to be responding to. So without further ado, let's look at the video. The first claim being that ayylmao cut them out of context. That's incorrect. Let's say that.
Discussing shipping, and in particular how Jax's voice actor Michael was getting a bit fed up with it. Let me explain. So a day ago, Michael did a 4-hour livestream where he signed prints for all of the characters he voiced. During the stream, when it came to Jax, a lot of fans kept asking him to draw things relating to Funny Bunny. I'll roll the clip.
Did you write some flirty... Why? Jax doesn't flirt. Something is Jax and just be as flirty as possible. My gosh. Why is everybody so thirsty? You guys need to drink water. Slightly romantic as Jax, but in character, please. Okay. What? Why would you make me do this? Man, they wrote, "Hello, Michael. If you can you make Jax say the words on my print, 'I love you, Pomni,' and include one doodle of Pomni and Jax side by side?" Why? Can I say no to that? Do I ship Jax and Pomni? I don't ship anyone. None of them should be in relationships. We'll do that. None of them should be in relationships.
A little later, over on Twitter, Michael came out to clarify that he doesn't dislike the Digital Circus ships.
Okay, now everybody, count the similarities between clip 1 and clip 2. Go.
Is for Rihanna DeLeon. It's Rihanna from CadaverCon 2024. I sadly won't be able to make it this year, but could you write some flirty... Why? Jax doesn't flirt. Here. I at least wrote this. Your character is a bunny. So I wrote, "There's only room for one bunny around these parts." I wrote something simple. Hope you're okay. I'm doing fine. I'm just being a brat. Don't worry. I'm okay. I'm not actually, like, frustrated or angry. Maybe a little frustrated just because it does get a little annoying having to clarify some things. But it's something I don't mind doing. I'm not, like, angry. I just have to... If anything, I'm a little low energy now because I've dispersed a little bit of energy explaining things. You're lucky number 2525. There you go, Rihanna.
Not that much, right? So the context here and the point that ayylmao is trying to make, it doesn't really get changed with added stuff right here. The only thing that really would change is like his feelings about it. But even in ayylmao's video, you can see that he also says that he says like, "Hey, don't like I'm not angry about that." But it is also a thing of that if maybe we should go and criticize this behavior of constantly pestering with the same question because it can get annoying and it's just basic human decency. Especially when in certain things it can be like shipping and relationships like over and over and over and over again. I understand that's part of the fandom, but generally you don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Like, it's a joke and he doesn't mind, but a lot of the times it just ends up in shipping words, which is just tiring for people in the fandom, where it's just it just sucks ass. It just really does. You never want to get into that.
All was fine and dandy until big content creator ayylmao made a video talking about the problem that Michael had experienced during his live stream. But
Also, did you catch that tactic? This is something that they do later on as well, in which they go and try to use buzzwords to go and make a point out of it. They're trying to act like, well, he's a big content creator, therefore it means something. Whenever somebody deliberately describes something like that, you want to go and look at it, because everybody knows that. When somebody tries to say big content creator made this, or big content creator did this, what they're trying to do is make their action seem worse. But the problem here is, once again, there's nothing to make worse. It's trying to make a mountain from a molehill. The next point I hate passionately, and this is when I'm going to start to get angry. The next point you could only make if you think the world revolves around you. Not only does he admit A doesn't mention the people individually, but he still thinks that he's talking about her, just as like the thing of the video.
now he didn't mention my girlfriend by name, but it's still really weird that he left out some key details about this live stream. My girlfriend was asking for a request for Michael to say something flirty as Jax about her OC, not Pomni. Why he didn't bother to mention that at all is beyond me.
It's because the context was irrelevant to his overall point. He's trying to pretend like this is a great gotcha. It's not. I don't understand when people focus on existent points. The context adds pretty much nothing and doesn't add any new context or new information that would be worthwhile. The clip by itself, in which it's cut like that, shows enough, and then it's not even talking about your girlfriend alone. It's talking about other things. So you could only make this video if you are focusing on yourself, and that's it. Now, you have a point later on about the actions of other people, but like, he's not talking about your girlfriend alone. This is what I say about this. It's such a selfish and like world revolving around me point. The next point he tries to bring in is an absolute crap point. It's by the victim, his girlfriend, the person that he's talking about. So you can see the bias right there, which is why I don't really like the video. Their YouTube posts, he tries to bring them in. It's not great. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's over-exaggeratory. It's trying to take a random action and act like it's this great boogeyman thing. But let's read it ourselves. He does read it himself as well, but I would like to read it as well so I can pick it apart. As of writing this, I'm currently being slandered and harassed on TikTok, Twitter, and recently YouTube. Mainly for my recent live stream and short of me requesting Michael Kovac if he could possibly say something flirty as Jack to my OC original character, Rain. Reminder that I did not ask for Jax to be flirty to me, only my OC. Michael instead jokingly wrote a non-flirty take of how Jax would react to another bunny character. However, people have been recently taking the clip out of context and only focusing on Michael's sighing in disappointment and comparing me and my request to actual sexualization of Michael in shipping questions. So that's all fair, right? That's all fair. That's talking about the fandom. This is where it doesn't really make sense. And this is where I say that this is trying to put blames and trying to make a scapegoat ayylmao to kind of be like a gotcha instead of saying maybe you just did something dumb. Maybe like it's time for us to move on as a fandom to not be this thirsty, because it is kind of dumb, right? Us as a fandom being say something flirty. It's like, how many times can we play that out? But that gets into another thing that can be debated for 20 billion years. This part of ayylmao is one of those people responsible for the harassment and slander against many underage creator is wrong. including me and one that is trans femme Jax artist. That is all wrong. What the fuck are you talking about? That's when I get fucking angry, when you start making shit up. That's when I say you need to shut the fuck up. If you're gonna go and say somebody harassed and slandered you and then try to slander somebody else, that's when I say you're not good. You're not a good person. You're doing the same exact shit that you're accusing somebody else of, which you have no evidence of. The only thing you have is, well, he didn't clip it with the context I would have wanted. Okay, it doesn't change anything. But what's worse is that they continue with this idea. Ayylmao, I am a human too, not just Michael. Please, stop that. Just because I am not as famous as Michael doesn't mean I deserve to be dehumanized. When did he do that? Who did that? Who said you should be dehumanized? Who said any of this? What are you making up? It's literally there. All he did was say, like, hey, maybe people should stop this. That's the biggest thing that he has ever done. Please either take accountability and clip me out of your slop shorts, or at least pin my comment explaining everything. We already covered that. I'm going to go a little bit harder into that. Thank you. Also, I never had any issue with Michael's improv writing on my print. ayylmao, stop treating me as if I'm a selfish brat. When did he claim that? When? Who? Where? What? Why? And how? When did he ever do any of that? You're trying to say he slandered you and tried to encourage harassment and was like, oh, this person's bad. When all he did was say, oh, Michael's saying at this, is saying this, Michael's getting annoyed with this. Maybe we as a fandom should stop because it's kind of dumb. But then you're trying to make up stuff that he never said and never did. And when your boyfriend comes to the rescue of you, and you're trying to do this, what it sounds like, and this is my whole point of this, is that you're trying to make a scapegoat. Instead of talking to the fandom and combating the fandom, in which you know you will have a losing thing, you try to make a person into a great evil. But that's not going to happen, and it should not happen. It's a dumb thing. It's super dumb. It's so dumb. And what's worse is that you have a comment that's just as dumb as well, and it shows the level of logic that is being applied here, that you don't want to go and accept that maybe he's not the one that did this. I warn you, everybody, this person is really stuck up their ass. Minor or not, you don't get to bring up accusations of certain things like exploitation and get away with it unless you have good evidence, in which you are just a ass if you do that. So let's read this comment. I'm really hoping that this situation is resolved and all minors, not just me, will get a public apology from ayylmao's exploitation of them. There's no such thing of that. Monetizing off of minors is something that should not be praised, and he should not be earning from it. He's not earning from that. He's not monetizing off of minors. He's monetizing off of public content and criticizing that. I hope you will learn from this. There's nothing to learn from this. Hope you all have a wonderful day. So we have 3 in total. One in which they say that he was slandering/harassing them, in which he didn't do that, and tried to say that it was his fault, that there was crazy people on the internet that found her and then just attacked her, which is so dumb that you're trying to put this sin on him when you are doing something just as bad and worse. Then you have one in which they're trying to say that he's exploiting minors, which is not the case. And then one in which they misdirect you or misconstrue it and try to misdirect you, in which he's trying to monetize off of minors. So when you have a person that has to basically lie 3 times to go and make a point, maybe the accusations are not true and they're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. This is the same thing that happened with the nominal dingus, in which it's oh, well, he's an ass. Well, we're going to assume grooming. So with all these criticisms and all these flaws of this thing and these claims of ayylmao, what does the boyfriend say about these statements? You know, the guy that showed us the short and showed us the complete context and everything, he doesn't fall and say that this is a good response.
Personally, I believe that was probably the best thing she could have said given her current situation.
I'm sorry, I have to go touch some grass to clear my mind of this dumbitude right here. Alright, I'm back. Did the statements get any better?
I am, however, concerned and upset at ayylmao's blatant lack of common sense here. And while not intentional, he caused a massive uproar over absolute nothing and caused many minors to be harassed and slandered and causing my girlfriend to come on the brink of suicide.
You know, I think we need to go to a time when people didn't know like legal terms and buzzwords, because that's not what happened. You can go and try to boo-hoo that, but that's not his fault. He talked about something, he criticized it, and then a bunch of random people that are insane went after them. That is not the same thing as him causing a uproar. That is the fan base being delusional that you're now trying to blame him for. Don't blame him because he criticized something and went like, I don't really like this, I think that that's bad. If we're gonna take that standard, if we're gonna have that, a person that criticizes a game that's bad and then the video, like this video game studio goes under, they're gonna say you caused it instead of the other thing of that the video game was bad. This is terrible, terrible, terrible behavior. This is what usually happens when people don't have a person to blame or don't have an individual person to blame and can't go and scapegoat them, but still want to. And this is the problem that I have with it. You cannot blame him for the harassment of your girlfriend. You cannot blame him for the harassment of the minors, because guess what? The people that did that were probably also minors. But that has nothing to do with him. He criticized something normally. That's what happens. And when you go and try to bring accusations like that, like he might have inadvertently caused a suicide, you better bring good evidence for that. You cannot go and honestly say something like that without hardy evidence. But no, you don't have that. What you have is a random rationalization of that he caused this. But when you have to make up stuff and make up evidence and make up actions, and you have your girlfriend push this fake accusation against people and agree with people making fake accusations and trying to describe it in the worst way possible deliberately, I say bullshit. I say manipulation. I say you're trying to make a mountain from a molehill. I say that you're trying to look for somebody to blame rather than you need to blame a billion other people, because then it would be tiring for you. This was not caused by him. This would never be caused by him. This was caused by the fandom being unhinged. Did he go and open the gate? Yeah, but how could he know what's on the other side? You would expect the other side to be a castle, not a giant hulking monster that kills everybody. So unlike what this person tries to claim, the boyfriend of the supposed victim, this isn't him lacking common sense. This isn't him exploiting minors. This isn't him harassing anybody. This isn't him slandering anybody. This is him talking about something that he wanted to talk about. And you can go and speculate a billion other reasons, but as far as I can see, it's just him talking about what he wants and he considers this a problem, making a slop short about it, and then people being insane and going, "Urgh." That, for you to go and try to misconstrue that is absolutely deplorable. And for you to go and try to say that he's doing other disgusting things, I consider you disgusting. But as always, my name is TRG. Don't be like these people. Think critically about this stuff. I'm going to be playing Hollow Knight. Silksong. Bye-bye.